Hello.
Hi, hello, is this Isaac?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Isaac, this is Tommy Bryson. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, man. So I just want you to this call to be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. How can I help?
Uh, sir.
Yeah. How can I help?
Uh, I didn't call.
You scheduled a call?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
My mind is my bad. My bad. My mind is everywhere, man. I
All
just
right.
woke up. Yeah. So, how are you? First off, how are you doing, man?
I'm
You
doing
doing
good,
pretty
man.
good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How can I help, man?
Okay. So pretty much me, the problem that I'm having is trying to find me an asset. I mean, an income growing asset, and I really don't know what to put my money into. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to just dump it into something that is gonna come back and bite me in. Well, excuse my language. Excuse my language. It's gonna come back and
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
How
I'm
old are you,
I'm I'm
man?
I'm 21, and
Okay.
as of right now, I've made some stupid mistakes that most
Mm-hmm.
21-year-olds would make. I joined the military, and then I started buying expensive stuff. I bought a Dodge Challenger, of
Mm-hmm.
course, V8. Moved downtown. I'm paying like $1,200 in rent, like
Sheesh.
stupid stuff. Yeah, stupid
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
and
your
I'm just trying
income,
to.
your income right now comes from the military?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much money do you make per month?
Per month, around 4 grand.
$4,000. That's a lot of money, man. What's your
30 around 3,500. 3,500. It's not 4 grand. It's not 4 grand.
okay?
That was
Is it
after my other. Uh,
okay?
I get paid for school too.
Is that post tax or pre tax?
That's
Is that what
pre-tax.
you get to take home, or is that what you get like?
It's that's pre-tax. It's before taxes are out.
How much do you get paid after taxes?
My paychecks usually end up being around 12, around 1,300. Sometimes it fluctuates. I don't know why it goes
A
up and
month?
down, but no, every paycheck,
You get paid weekly or bi-weekly?
biweekly.
So $1,200. That's okay. So that's $2,400 a month, basically.
After tax, yes, sir.
All right. So now the biggest thing is, right? You want to stay in the military?
I'm honestly thinking about next year. Like, my contract ends in 2 years, and I really don't want to stay in.
Okay. And you're going to school now?
I'm in school, yes.
What are you studying?
Criminal justice, something, something quick. I really wanted to stay in the military in the beginning, but I'm the type of person I don't like people to tell me what to do. I
Mm-hmm.
like to, I want to work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like very big on that,
Mm-hmm.
and
Just remember
that's
though,
pretty
right?
much.
The concept of like people not telling you what to do is false, right? Because if you work for someone, they'll tell you what to do. If you have your own business, your customers will tell you what to do also, right? There's never any like free thing where no one is ever telling you what to do. Does that make
hmm
sense?
I got you. I got you.
Okay. Now, are you going to school for criminal justice to go ahead and become a cop to get your credits?
I was doing it because I wanted to become an officer in the military. I really didn't care about being a cop, honestly. I just wanted to, because I was
Okay.
going to do the whole 20, but it's just, I don't like the military. I'm not going to lie. I
Okay.
don't like it.
Now, here's the biggest thing, right? Being in the
hmm
military, you're gonna get a whole bunch of benefits to help you with college and all that stuff, right? So you got to pick a career that's actually going to make sense, whether it's a trade job or, for example, going to college and actually getting a career that you're actually going to do after you're done with the military in those 2 years. Does that make sense?
hmm hmm
So the biggest thing is you probably want to go to laborstatistics.gov and look for careers there, and also look for example, the top trade jobs and find one that actually makes sense for you, that can actually earn you somewhere around what you make now or more of what you make now. That way, in those 2 years you're with the military, you get to graduate with a trade job earning maybe $40,000, $60,000 every single year, and that way you're in a much better space. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When you, what did you say that the name of that website was again?
Laborstatistics.gov. It's just like to see like what the best careers actually are right now.
Okay.
But
All right.
but when you're looking for a job is something you do for money, right? So
Mhm.
that means delivering pizzas unless you're very passionate about it. But a career is something you do for enjoyment and also because if it fills you in some way, right? That you actually like it. So when you're looking for something to
Mhm.
do, look for three things, right? Something you like, something you're good at, and something that's going to make you money. That's the biggest thing. So if you're going to go to college, make sure whatever you do choose to do makes sense. If you don't want to do the whole 4 years in college or 2 years, you can do a trade job and just like skip all the BS and go straight into what you want to do.
Mhm.
Okay. But the biggest thing
Okay.
is right now, if my name is Isaac and I'm 21 years old and I'm in the military and I have this deadline of 2 years, I would not be worried about investing any money and having that money there for like the next like 30 years or whatever, but I can't touch it. I'll be worried about using all of my money, all of my power right now to use that money to pay for like college and all the expenses that has to do with it or the trade job I want to do. Does that make sense?
Mhm. Yes, sir. Well, the military pays for my college.
Every single penny of it.
I don't have any student loans. They pay for it.
Okay, then awesome. So your whole cost of living then, right, is taken care of in a way by that. But the main thing is then you want to save for emergencies. Do you have any debt, by the way?
Yes.
What,
I
okay,
also bought
talk
a
to me
credit
about.
card.
Okay, don't laugh, man. It's not funny. All right. So what debt do you have?
It was like 4 grand.
Okay, you owe $4,000 on a credit card. Do you have a car loan?
Yes.
How much do you owe there?
I don't know how much I owe on my card, but I'm starting to pay it down. I should pay it off by next year though. My
How
car
much do you
should be
think you
paid.
owe?
Probably around 7 grand. If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
How much money do you have in cash?
In cash right now,
Mm-hmm.
probably
It's okay.
probably like $700.
Okay. Now, here's a big thing, right? If
Mhm.
you already know your mistakes, then you got to fix them, right? The big thing is you
Mhm.
live in a very expensive area. So when you have a budget, you got to make a budget, you have four main walls. The four main walls are basically shelter, utilities, groceries, and transportation. So if you can lower your your shelter costs by moving maybe 50 minutes away from where you actually go to college or whatever it is, that can save more money then, okay, great. Utilities means cutting out everything that you actually don't need. Groceries, don't be eating out all the time. And then transportation is this car thing, right? Now,
Mhm.
obviously, you have this car note. Most likely, you're not going to sell the car. So what I recommend is basically you once you save up $1,000 for emergencies on the side, you want to use the avalanche method to pay off your debts. Meaning you pay the debt that costs you the most money, the highest APR. Most likely here is going to be the credit card. So I'd grab all of my money, all the extra money I actually have, right? Because I'm not paying for school, and I would throw it into my entire credit card. If I'm in the military, if I have, and I'm going to school, I would try to deliver pizzas at night or whatever it is, or Uber Eats, just to get some extra money to throw it towards his debt. And if you're making, for example, $2,400 a month, and you spend, for example, maybe like $1,500, you have to have like a very good budget because right now you spend like $1,200 in rent, and you shouldn't be.
Mhm.
The answer is you can basically be done with all this debt in like 3 to 6 months. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
But it all starts with you saying, "Hey, I need a budget. So I have shelter, utilities, groceries, and lastly, transportation. What can I do about shelter? I can move to this neighborhood right here. Where do you live, by the way? Where are you located?
Downtown Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, what's the average rent like outside of the city?
Um, you can
No more,
find.
no more than 20 minutes away from your college.
Well, I take my classes online.
Oh, even better, bro.
I work every day. I work every day, and I take my school online.
Okay, so how far is your job away from where you live now?
My job is literally like 10 minutes.
Okay, so if you can add 10 minutes to your commute or 20 minutes to your commute and save, for example, $300-400 a month, it makes sense.
Mhm. Mhm. I used to when I stayed at my parents, it was like 30 minutes away. But I mean, Montgomery is also small, so 30 minutes to me is kind of different from 30 minutes to someone else. like saying living in Atlanta or somewhere. They're like 30 minutes isn't that long, but I grew up in a small town. Montgomery, Alabama is very small.
And just use that time to like read or do like an audiobook or whatever it is to educate yourself. But paying $1,200 to be in that area when you can't afford it, it doesn't make sense. Your main priority is you save $1,000 for emergencies. The rest of your money, all of it, plus like a little side job that you actually get, throw all that money towards your debt. 3 to 6 months from now, you're debt free. Once you're done with that debt, the next thing is saying, okay, so 3 to 6 months. Now I have, for example, 1.6 months until like I'm done with this whole like military thing. So now you gotta go full blown. Okay, let me save up for full blown emergency account of 3 to 6 months. If I want to invest 5-10%, great, into my Roth IRA, all that stuff. But once you're done saving up for emergencies in full, the next step is, hey, I can save up money at that age, man, because you're 21 years old. You don't need to buy a house yet, right? So what would I do if I were you at 21, but my college is being paid for and all that stuff? I'd probably just stack up some money, honestly, while I'm investing 10-20%. So if I'm going to college and I'm saving up like 20-30% of my income, just do that. Once you graduate and you can make more money, then you can say, hey, what do I want to do with all this extra money? If you want to keep in, by the way, when it comes to investing, I recommend you do index fund investing, or for example, ETF. You know what that is?
I do not.
Okay. So the idea is you're investing now, right? You bought some stocks, something like that? Or no?
No, I have some money in, I have like $20 in Dogecoin. But other than that, I'll like trade, I'll sell Bitcoin through Paxful every now and then.
Okay, so here's what I recommend, right? There's a book. It's called The Little Book About Common Sense Investing. And that book will teach you exactly why index funds are such a great way to go. Because the way you invest, if you want to pick stocks and pick crypto, whatever it is, you got to spend 4 or 8 hours every single day doing research, right? And you probably don't want to do that. Just reading financial statements, reading cash flow statements, all that stuff. I don't want to do that. So basically, when you buy an index fund, the idea is what you're doing is you're tracking an entire sector of the market. So if I buy the S&P 500 index fund by Vanguard, ticker symbol VOO, what does that mean? It means, for example, I'm investing into the top 500 largest companies in America. So if one company falls, it doesn't matter. I'll get basically the overall return for the market that year. That way I don't carry that much risk. Does that make sense? Instead of buying one company, you're buying the whole thing.
Okay. And now, another thing that I did want to talk about. So next year, I'm going on deployment, and I told my mom, she was on the other side. She was like, oh, you should keep your apartment. You should keep paying rent, even though you're not there. I feel like that doesn't make sense. But I'm going to be deployed to Africa next year. And I know over there, around the course of 6 months, I should make around $50,000 because I'm also getting my bonus. I'm getting a $10,000 bonus, and it's all tax free because I'm going to be overseas. Yeah. And I really wanted to invest that into something, and I didn't want to mess that up, make a stupid mistake with that.
Just okay. Look, right. Here's the first thing. Your mom's wrong. You don't need to keep this place because you're not going to keep this place now. Because in reality, we just basically agreed that this place is too expensive for you. Right? So if you're going to switch places either way, if you can find somewhere to put your stuff, whether it's your mom's house, your grandma's house, wherever it is, that's fine. If you're going to go for 6 months, when you come back, you can take the time to find a place that's actually decent enough for you to actually live in without having to worry about anything. Now, when you do make this $50,000 or whatever, the goal is, the steps are still the same, Isaac, right? The idea is, A, you save $1,000. B, you start paying off your debt using the avalanche method, right? But this all starts with a budget. So you got to budget your money. You got to know exactly where all your money is going. Once you are debt free in 3 to 6 months from now, the next step is you want to save up for a full-blown emergency account. Once you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in there, including all your expenses, right, for 3 to 6 months. So if you spend $2,000 every single month, multiply that by 3, 2 times 3 is 6. So you save $6,000. If it's going to be for 6 months, 6 times 2 is 12. So you save $12,000, right? Does that make sense? So if you lose your job, you break a leg, you're going to be good for those 3 to 6 months. Now, all the extra money that you have and you're getting, right, any surplus, the idea is only invest between 10 to 20%. The rest of the money, you stack it up. You stack it up, you stack it up while you're going to college, right? Once you graduate and you're making, for example, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 without the entire government, you decide, hey, do I want to buy a home right now? Because you can't afford it, by the way, if you can't, depending on the math. Or do I want to use this money to just invest more money into my retirement? But understand, retirement, if you're trying to max out your 401k and also your Roth IRA, I think the 401k max is like 19,500, and the Roth is 6,000. So together that's like $25,500. That's a lot of money, and that money usually you can't really take it out for a long time, so it's gonna be kind of like frozen there. But if I were you, and I'm saying, okay, I just came back from Africa, I have 50K. I'm about to graduate in 6 more months or whatever with a job that pays me like 60K or 48K per year. What's next for me? I can save up this money and stack it up, and then you got this, and then if you want to buy a home to lower your shelter costs, you can do it if you want to. But at that age, bro, when you're not even, you have like a girlfriend or anything like that?
No, I'm too busy trying to get money, man. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
but eventually,
because
remember, right? In a few years, maybe you'll be married and you have kids and all that stuff. So you have to think about that. So if you eventually, if you know you're gonna stay in an area for a while, and you're like 22 now, 23, and you already got a good job and all that stuff, you want to say, hey, I'm gonna stay here for a while. So I want to buy a home. If you're gonna stay there for more than 2-3 years, you can buy a home and stay there, and just pay it off fast. Once you have that home, your shelter cost is gone, and you're still investing that 20% while you're paying off that property. So you're growing your investments. And by the way, if you want to invest the way I invest, I have a video on it. Just look up how to invest $1,000. I'm Tommy Bryson. You'll find the video, or click on the link that shows you my M1 Finance portfolio on all of my videos to see exactly what I invest money into. You can do that if you want to. So you start building up your investments step by step, but you don't want to rely too much on the market. That's why if you have a paid off house and your only expenses, for example, just like your utilities, your groceries, and your transportation, and your car is paid off also, and you have like an emergency account, you're good to go. You're solid. Does that make sense? But the whole you buying a house is going to take a while to actually pay it off, because if you use the 33% rule, where the house can't cost you more than 33% of your monthly income on a 15-year mortgage, if you're paying extra towards the mortgage, it might take you like 7 to 8 years to pay it off in full. It might take you a while, or it might take you less depending on the house you actually buy. So now you're like 30 years old, but you have a paid off house, and you also have a great career that you actually love and you enjoy, and you also have a lot of money in your investment account. You have a great emergency account. So by age 30, you can have more power when it comes to selecting whatever you want to do. Does that make sense?
I get exactly what you're saying. What you're saying.
That's all it is, man. But don't. The plan is not to rush invest into things and be like, I'm gonna do this with this or whatever, like really quickly because I have all this money now. Just be patient. That's all it is. You have any more questions?
No, sir. That was pretty much it. You explained everything to me. I know I've always been like this my whole life, been impatient, just been ready to go, jump on it.
We all are, bro.
Yeah, man.
But just be patient. Your first step is get rid of all that debt, but first save $1,000, right? Get rid of all of that debt. That way you don't have any more payments. You make a budget and you decide, hey, am I gonna move? When are you gonna go on deployment, by the way?
You said what happened? When are you
gonna be deployed?
It's next year. I don't know what time frame. I really don't know what time
we still have like 6 to 7 months, right? So you got to decide now where you're gonna move to save all that money and get another job too, so you can get rid of this debt even faster. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, you're right.
That way you don't have all that free time that you got now. All right, bro.
What'd you say again?
That way you don't have all that free time when you got a second job. So you can be rid of that car, you can get rid of that credit card debt, and then you're solid. And by the way, when you have that credit card, the best way to build credit, if you want to build credit, you don't have to, is you just put one small bill on it, like Netflix or your phone bill, and just pay it off in full every single month, and just cut the physical credit card and forget about it. That way you build credit, but you don't have any debt.
That's so crazy. I never thought about it that way. Like just putting like Netflix or something on there, and That makes so much sense.
Yeah, that way you don't have to worry about like, yo, I just got in debt again, Tommy. I owe $8,000 now. You know what I mean? That's the whole idea, man. But you're solid. Remember, bro, you're 21 years old. By 30, you can have a paid off home. Does your mom have a paid off home?
No, sir.
How old is she?
She is 40.
Yeah, bro. So it's a whole different playing field, bro. When you do things the correct way in order. Okay, but if you're impatient, you're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stick with this debt. I'm gonna buy a home now, and I'm gonna invest into this, into that. And before you know it, now you owe all this money on this side, you owe money over here, and you have everything scattered. But if you're very like I'm focused on the goal, you get it done. Okay.
All right,
man. Thanks for the call. If you want to call again after a few months or a few weeks, when you gotta when you put things into movement, feel free to take another call. Okay.
All right, appreciate it, man. And I like what you're doing, man. You're a goat, for real.
All right. Thanks, Isaac. Glad I could help. Peace out.
All right, you have a good one, man.
All right, guys. So that right there was Isaac. You know, and it's such an incredible feeling when you can say, you know, the big worry for me is when you're 21 years old. You know, and you're like, what do I do with all this extra money if I have no debt? I already save for emergencies. Like, what? That's a good problem to have, by the way. Like, what do you do then? You know, the big thing is you just keep investing that 10 to 20% of your income into your retirement. The rest of the money, you keep saving it up. Because remember, you will have expenses in the future. You know, if you want to invest more, great, that's fine. But remember, eventually you'll buy a home to lower your whole cost of living. Eventually you'll get married. Eventually, if you want to buy a new car, eventually you want to save for house expenses, all that stuff. You can also do that too. So a lot of things you can do, you know. But the big thing is, well, I want to put all my money into my investments. You know, it might sound great, but if the market crashes, then you have a problem. You know, that's why for me at least, you know, if I could do it all over again, and if I was 21 years old with everything I have right now, the first thing I would do is I would clear off all of my debt first. Once I have that, I'll save for emergencies in full. I'll invest at 20%, no more. Nothing, don't leverage too much of the stock market. You don't know what's going to happen in there. And then, for example, once you're done with that, you say, hey, I'm going to save up all this cash. You know, I'm going to get married, pay cash for that. Get an education because I'm not in the military, pay cash for that also. And then, for example, if I want to buy a home, I put down 20%, pay it off very quickly, very fast. Well, I'm still investing that 20%. And guess what? In 8-9 years, I have a little fund in my investments of like $600,000, $500,000 in there, but my home is paid off also. It's just a great feeling. Or $200,000, depending on how much money you actually make, okay? But it's just a great feeling in a different situation. The worry is you don't want to buy a home too early when you don't know if you're going to stay there for a while. If you're that young, you're not even married yet and all that stuff, okay? But you just want to run the numbers, make sure everything actually makes sense for you. And if you want to try a side hustle, you can if you want to also, you know what I mean? But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you want to join me on my next call, feel free to do so. Links down below to schedule a call today. By the way, the calls will be getting cut shorter and shorter, so get in while you still can right now. Link down below. If you want to join me on my main channel, link down below. Also my second channel called The Tommy Bryson Show, where I post it every single day. Also, link down below. Also, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you guys want to DM me, well, DM me right here at Tommy Bryson on Instagram. And before I go, another video here. Click my face right here. See you guys tomorrow. And as always, peace.